Joining us now is Eric Trump, great friend and head of the Trump Organization. Eric, great to see you, my friend. I know you have a major announcement about Trump Mobile, but first, I want you to recollect, it's been a decade, my friend. What a 10 years it has been.
Hey, Charlie, hey, listen, you sit in the same seat as I do in many regards, and sometimes you need to pitch yourself, right? 10 years ago, to this day, he went down that escalator. I've stood on the stage with him every single day since then. There's probably been no bigger defender of his, more loyal surrogate than I was during that period of time. I think I was on TV about 5 times every day during that period of time, and learned a lot about life, learned a lot about myself, certainly learned a lot about this country and the politics of this country. But man, what a journey that was. I mean, they tried to impeach him. They tried to kill him. They raided his homes. They weaponized every DA and AG against our family. They made up the Russia hoax. They made up the dirty dossiers. They went after his Supreme Court justices. They went after virtually every single one of the Friends, campaign managers, anybody who, entered his orbit. Hey, you took a lot of hits throughout that whole process because you were one of them. I can't tell you. I became the most subpoenaed person probably in American history. Based on the fact that they couldn't get to my father through the executive branch, so they just absolutely came after us, our companies, our wealth, our employees. They wanted to throw him in jail. They wanted to throw away the keys. And despite that, we won 2 elections and arguably a third. I think we won 3 elections, but you can definitively say we won 2 based on the fact that he sat behind the Oval, he sat behind the Resolute desk twice. But what a journey it's been, Charlie, and all of that happened in a 10-year period of time, and obviously so much more. So I pinch myself every day, honored to be part of the fight. I love the man to death, and hard to believe it's exactly 10 years after that day.
What did your father say when he gathered all of you together before the announcement? I'm guessing there was a meeting up in his office at Trump Tower with all of you. What was that conversation like?
A conversation I'll never forget. I get a phone call, honey, bring all the kids up to my office, and I bring, Don, Ivanka, I called my wife, called Melania, and he goes, kids, I'm going to do this. And then he said, let's do this. That was his exact words. Kids, I'm going to do this. Let's do this. I mean, Charlie, everything we had ever done, we had done as family, you know that, right? Whether it's real estate stuff or, The Apprentice, we had always fought together. We had always won together. We always did as a family unit. And all of a sudden, we were entering a space we didn't know what the hell we were doing. I didn't know what a delegate was. I didn't know what a caucus was in Iowa. Listen, I was a master at concrete and building. I didn't know a damn thing about the American political system, at least kind of the intricacies of running for president. And I remember going to Iowa, and I'm standing on tables in the middle of pizza ranches and other places, giving stump speech, and it was so awkward when you first got into it. It's like my mom would kill me for having my shoes on a table, and yet I'm sitting here doing a stump speech to a bunch of people at lunchtime who probably didn't even want to hear a stump speech, but that's just what you did in the state of Iowa. And there were times where it was uncomfortable. There were times where it was fun. I think we grew so much as humans. But man, has he changed the country in so many great ways. He taught Republicans how to fight again. He taught people that you could be unapologetic, that you could focus on your core beliefs, and they could actually bring you to kind of the promised land, get you a victory. He was the greatest rhino hunter in the history of politics, in that he knocked out every, I won't use a word on TV, just try and be a little bit respectful, but every Mitt Romney, every Sass, all these guys who were the worst of the worst. He created a Republican Party that wanted to fight for core principles that they actually agreed upon. They weren't just kind of rollover stiffs that were unrelatable to the entire country. And man, am I proud of the guy. And he did that all through adversity and nearly being killed twice. And he's a remarkable human being. You take 10,000 billionaires in his same spot, not a single person could have lasted that fight. Not a single person would have weathered that storm. And he keeps on fighting every single day when what everybody else would have done would have been just revert to comfort, revert to Mar-a-Lago, revert to the beautiful plains, revert to, playing golf and hang out with the grandkids every single day. He has blood flowing down his face, and he stands up, fight, and he doesn't stop. And he's a remarkable person. I'm not sure if they'll ever create another one of him.
And so Eric, I know I want to get to your announcement here. I know you got a dash in a second here. I just have one, quick follow-up question and point first. We're also proud of you and Don and the entire family.
Thank you.
You have stood by your father at every single turn, every difficulty. We see so often, unfortunately, kids that turn their back on their parents, and you guys leaned in And I just want to say it is a testament to your character after all you've been through. It hasn't been easy. And also a testament to your father for raising 3 incredible sons and how tight-knit your family is has really been something to witness. So Eric, tell us, please.
Charlie, just to say that, I mean, believe me, part of the big political ecosystem was to break us. That's what they do.
Correct.
And the number one rule of politics is do not get your family, keep your family the hell out of politics. That's the number one rule. They try and break you, and they couldn't break me. As many days as I sat in those courtrooms with my father and as many uncomfortable depositions and subpoenas as I got, they couldn't break me, and they didn't break Don, and they didn't break anybody else in the family. And he did a great job raising us. There's no question about it.
So what is your announcement here today? Eric, tell us about it. You guys have a million different projects going on. What do you want to share with our audience today?
Yeah, with Trump Mobile, which we're incredibly excited about. And Charlie, you know this better than anybody. This all started kind of, Trump Organization's foray into kind of the digital world started when X banned my father. They turned down the dials on you, and they turned down the dials on Don. They turned down the dials on me, and they deplatformed all of us. And guess what? We had to create Truth Social. Then all of a sudden, months later, we had the weaponization of the big banks. And guess what? They started writing me letters in the middle of the night saying, we're closing your accounts, Eric. We're closing the accounts at Trump Tower and 40 Wall Street and all your buildings all around the world. We're closing the accounts, and we don't give a damn because you wear that red hat that says Make America Great Again. And so we started World Liberty Financial, which is kind of our way to fight back against the big banks and kind of remove the power from the big banks, no different than Truth did with freedom of speech. And today we're launching Trump Mobile, and this is phones that will be made in the United States. These are phones that have customer service in the United States, all based out of St. Louis. These are phones made by Americans for Americans, with international calling, over 100 countries around the world, totally free, unlimited text, $47 a month. We are going to go in, no different than we did in the crypto world, no different than obviously we did, in the social media world. We are going to go in. We're going to disrupt, the mobile world. We're going to do it better. We're going to do it faster. We're going to do it cheaper. We're going to have better products. We're going to have better security. We're going to have better visibility. And I've never been more proud. It's going to be an awesome venture. And our foray into the digital space has been incredible. And this is really going to shake up kind of the digital asset world, the cell carrier world. And Don and I cannot be more excited about it.
How can people learn more, and what is the call to action there, Eric?
Yeah, we'll go sign up. TrumpMobile.com. In about 5 minutes, you can go in, sign up, get an eSIM card, and be on Trump Mobile. And then obviously the Made in America phones are coming out, later on this year. They're going to be again produced here in America. And if you speak to a representative, you're going to be speaking to somebody based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Again, you're going to be speaking to America. This isn't going to Bangladesh. This isn't somebody who's going to, take your customer info and sell it to somebody else, as we saw last week in that massive hack. Again, this is made for Americans, by a very patriotic family who cares tremendously. And again, we're really excited about Trump Mobile. I think we're really going to shake up the space.
Eric, I know you got a dash. I want to just play one final clip here, and I'm going to ask you, how are you going to tell your kids about this journey? First to 277.
Now to the race for the White House, and after decades of very publicly flirting with the idea, billionaire Donald Trump says he really is running for president this time around. His announcement was vintage Trump, talking up his vast wealth and combining his first campaign speech with his first campaign controversy when he said this.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. And they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting.
40 seconds, Eric. How are you going to tell the story to your kids?
Well, Charlie, I'm going to say that everything my father said was right. He was right. Trump was right about everything. They were sending rapists. They were sending murderers. They were sending drugs. And I just want you to look at L.A. right now as they burn cop cars, and so many people are holding Mexican flags and walking around those, and by the way, many other nationalities, and walking around those cars as they're on fire. And so, that's exactly right. My father was willing to say what everybody was thinking, but everybody was too afraid to say. And from that moment, from that speech, his polls spiked. And then he would come out and be slightly controversial again, but exactly what people were thinking, and his polls would spike again. And honestly, it's that kind of un-PC, unscripted, toughness that you see right there, which is what won my father the presidency in 2016, and certainly what won him the presidency again in 2024. And you just needed a person who had the courage and the backbone to say it, and that's Donald Trump.
Eric, thank you so much. God bless you, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you.
God bless you as well, my friend.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.